All right, today we're jumping into something really different, a unified theory that says your kitchen and the entire cosmos are deeply connected. I'm serious. The idea is that a simple bowl of soup and the very building blocks of reality are linked. It sounds wild, I know. So let's see how our source material makes this case.
Okay, just look at this. On the left, you've got a simple bowl of lentil soup, right? And on the right, a diagram straight out of a physics textbook. They seem like they're from completely different universes. But what if they aren't? The theory we're digging into today claims they're actually governed by the exact same cosmic laws. Yeah, that's the core idea we're going to unpack.
So how on earth does a theory of everything start in the kitchen? Well, it all begins with a concept you've probably heard of before, this idea that certain foods have heating or cooling effects on your body.
And the source material brings this big cosmic idea down to something really practical. For centuries, traditional cooks have been mixing different kinds of lentils, or dal, not just to make it taste good, but to actually balance the body's energy with the seasons. You use a certain mix when it's hot outside and a different one when it's cold.
And this is where it gets super specific. The theory points to Moongi, that's green dal, as having a cooling effect, and Masari, red dal, as being heating. Now get ready for this, because here's the big jump. The source says these properties are the same thing as concepts from particle physics called Skyrmion and Mercian spins. To put it simply, you can kind of think of those as these tiny, stable little whirlpools of magnetic energy that can be hot or cold on a quantum scale.
And let's be really clear here. The author isn't just saying this is some nice metaphor. Nope. They're arguing that this old cooking wisdom is a literal hands-on application of the very same principles that run the whole universe, from particle physics to the stars. It's supposed to be a bridge connecting ancient alchemy with modern science.
All right, so let's see how these pieces start to form a full model of the universe. To really get the connections being made, we got to look at what the theory calls the universal ingredients, the basic particles and forces that make it all tick. The absolute core of this whole theory is a concept called Philfo. And what is that? Well, the source says it's a mix of philosophy, the self, and science, or ology. So inside this Philfo model, the main building block of everything is something called the grace particle. It's described as coming from the Higgs field, and what makes it special is that it can apparently gain or lose mass.
Okay, so you have the particle, but what puts it all together to create matter? The theory says that's a force called cymatics, which is all about the creative power of sound and vibration.
And the scale of this theory is, well, it's universal. The source claims that pretty much everything is constantly emitting neutrinos. We're talking bananas, avocados, milk, our own bodies, all of them, just like the Earth's core and the stars. It basically puts all of us and everything around us in this constant cosmic stream of particles.
So this lays out the proposed sequence for how things are created. It all starts with a neutrino, which we know exists. That supposedly leads to the axion, a hypothetical particle that physicists are actually looking for. Then, that interacts with something the theory calls the void, and boom, you get the 2D biomatter of our world, all shaped by that force of cymatics we just talked about.
So where do we fit into this whole cosmic picture? This next part is really fascinating. It gives the human body a totally new job. We're not just watching all this happen. The theory says we're actually central processors for all this cosmic energy. I mean, check this out. The source makes a pretty wild claim right here. It says our forehead acts like a cosmic flip gate. It's essentially a biological quantum computer that takes in these energy streams from the universe and processes them, changing them from radio waves into microwaves that our body can use.
And it doesn't stop there. The theory pushes this idea even further, making a direct comparison to modern physics. The source literally calls the human body a live bioaccelerator, saying it works kind of like the Large Hadron Collider at CERN. So in this model, our bodies aren't just flesh and bone, they're super advanced instruments processing cosmic particles. From there, the model draws this one-to-one connection between the small scale, us, and the large scale, the planet. Problems in the human body are seen as mirrors of big disasters on Earth. So high blood pressure is like a volcano. A heart attack is like a flood. A brain stroke, that's an earthquake.
Okay, so if our bodies and the Earth are so connected, what does this theory say about solving actual global problems? Well, that's what this last part is all about, with something called the Philfo 5D Earth model.
So the key idea in this model is something called continental opposites. The theory actually pairs up the continents. You've got Asia with Australia, Europe with Africa, and North America with South America. The suggestion is that they're all in this kind of dynamic balance with each other.
And here's how they suggest using this. According to the source, if you want to manage something like earthquakes in the Himalayas, over in Asia, you have to look at its opposite pair, Australia. The idea is that what you do, or what you understand about one place, can actually affect the other.
But this isn't just about what's on the surface. The model is meant to be completely holistic. It connects everything from the deep dynamics of the Earth's core, up through the continental plates, and all the way out to those cosmic neutrino streams that are always hitting our planet.
Which brings us back to the big question this theory leaves us with. This Philfo model, it's a whole system, right? It connects everyday stuff to the cosmos, ancient ideas to modern ones. So it really makes you wonder, is this a totally new blueprint for reality? Or is it more like a modern-day version of ancient alchemy? What do you think?